So, hello everyone. So, today I have 7 toppers with me. Firstly, let me introduce myself. I am Siddharth Mehta. I am the faculty of Verbal and English at Career Launcher and also author of Critical Reasoning for Law Exam, Critical Reasoning Nuggets for Law Exam. Today I have the 7 kids with me and I have Amitendra with me. We will be interacting with each other and trying to guide the future aspirants on how to make sure that your journey to National Law School is enriching. So let me first and foremost introduce the 7 students. I have with me Arunoday Rai. He has secured All India rank 21 and Arunoday is from Patna. Then I have Gautam Raj with me. Gautam has secured All India rank 25 and Gautam is from Dehradun. I have Krishna Priya Nair with me. Krishna Priya All India rank 37 and Krishna Priya is from Mumbai. I have Ashna. Ashna has secured All India rank 55 and Ashna is from Delhi. I have Malhar with me. Malhar has secured All India rank 68 and Malhar is from Pune. Then we have Aditya Singh. Aditya Singh has secured All India rank 76 and Aditya is also from Patna. And we have Astha with us today and Astha has secured All India rank 85 and Astha is from Belgaum, Karnataka. So welcome all of you. Welcome Amitendra and thank you so much for taking out your time and interacting with the kids. So over to you Amitendra.
Yeah, thank you so much, Siddharth. It's always good to have such interactions. Actually, I always look forward to this. And first of all, I would like to congratulate each one of you and for your stupendous results, actually, I would say. And this year was a challenging year, similar to 2020, actually. So we have been we are still through the pandemic. We are still going through that, actually. And I know how difficult it has been, and especially from the student perspective, from your perspective, I would say how difficult it has been actually this entire last 1.5 years. But I think you guys maintained your calm composure, you were determined, and that is what I would say is the reason behind your success. And that is very important from a student perspective. So before we go ahead and have a question answer round as to what you all guys all did, it is very important to understand your journey actually. And I would say it is very fascinating to have this group, Siddharth, because if you look at the composition of the group, the background they come from the if I talk about from the academic perspective. So we have Gautam who studied commerce in 11th and 12th. We have Astha who studied science, and we have so many of the humanities kids actually. So it's a wonderful composition. And I think this interview also is a wonderful platform because I know they would have, except probably, I don't know, but all of them probably would be meeting out there in NLS Bangalore, given the intake and everything actually. So before that, this meeting has already happened. So they got to know each other as well actually, and coming from different parts of the country, different culture. I think that is what makes a good law school actually. So it's more of the peer interaction. That is what I believe. Rather than anything else, I think it's what your peers are all about, their composition. That is what matters actually. And when we have such intellectually good kids, I think we'll always have an NLS as an LLS actually. So that is what I feel. So let me start with Gautam first, and all of us would be chipping in actually. So and there is no order I'm going to follow out here. So let me start with Gautam first. Gautam, I would like to understand your journey because what we know that you started very late actually. So I would like to know basically what you did in last 4-5 months. What has been your journey about law prep actually? So what exactly you did so that you are in this position today actually?
Yeah, so when I started out in 12th, I was not so clear about my choice in career, and I was thinking more along the lines of a BBA, and then later on an MBA, and maybe the integrated course IIM. But as things went on, the pandemic and all our classes were online, so I had no time, and I started thinking about all this. By the time it was 2021, my mom told me that you should join a coaching, to get guidance, because I was, I didn't want to join a coaching at first. I thought maybe I should focus on my board preparation. But then my mom said, no, you should join, you'll get the proper guidance and all. So I joined coaching in February, in the month of February. And then I joined for both the programs, for IIM and for CLAT. So when I started studying, where all the classes and all I saw, so I was basically I was good in English since middle school. I used to read a lot of novels and all. So the paper is English based, and it requires a good skill set in English. So I thought, yeah, maybe this is the career for me, as in, and my logical skills were also good. So I thought, yeah, why not, let's pursue law as a career. And I was doing well in coaching. The first mock I gave in coaching, I got 85. I had never given a CLAT mock before, and the first mock I got 85. And my friends told me that's a really good score for someone who has given the mock for the first time. So I thought, yeah, why not, let's do this.
Okay, so that's wonderful. In fact, I would come back to that, Gautam. But what I understand, what we have seen generally is people who are actually preparing for law, they start thinking about IPM. It's the other way around in your case, actually. So you were first thinking about IPM, the MBA program, the management, BBA, and then you shifted to law, actually. So that's very interesting. We'll come back to that. Astha, if you'd like to share your experience, your journey.
Yes, sir. So I was taking NEET coaching, medical coaching for my entire 11th grade. And then I think by the end of it, I knew deep inside that, okay, like this is not made for me. I don't enjoy the subjects. I don't enjoy calculating body mass index or whatever it is. So, and then I knew I had an option of law as a career, but then I thought it was just a fascination. I didn't know like if I wanted to pursue it as something that my passion is, I want to do for the rest of my life. And then after I finished 11th grade, and then I sat down with my parents, I took a little counseling and said, okay, I'm not enjoying NEET. I am not made for engineering, I know. So what should I do? I think I want to go for law. I mean, I yeah, same, just like Gautam, I used to read novels. I've been an avid reader. And so even my parents were quite supportive. They said, okay, fine, dekh lo tumko, you want to venture into it, then fine. And then I, researched a little, asked for information, and then I joined career launchers basically. But then still now, I think very recently, even after my CLAT results came out, I've been getting calls from my relatives ki, Arey, you're a science student, tum NEET karo, why are you doing law of all things? Because here in my place, there are very few people who even know that CLAT exists. Even I didn't know it before like a year or so. So that's that. So yes, sir.
It's wonderful, actually, but I would say lost to the medical field, probably an achiever in the medical field, they have lost actually, but definitely the law schools have gained over here with you coming to the law school now. Support of the parents is very, very important, actually. So there's no second thought about that. And of course, the smaller cities have their own issues. They have their own advantages as well, but they have their own issues. And it will take, I think, another decade or so to change the mindset, and especially from a relative perspective, actually. So, but yes, sciences, that importance, engineering, medicine, because they believe that they are super safe careers, actually, and not many people actually think about law. Good to hear that, Asta, actually. Krishna Priya, your journey, please, actually. So you are from Mumbai, and the city which gives a lot of top rankers year after year, actually. So good to have you here.
Thank you, sir. So my stumbling upon law was completely serendipitous. In 11th grade, I had no idea what to do. In 12th grade, even less so. So I was talking to one of my friends, and she told me that she was considering law as a career, and it sounded interesting to me. So she introduced me to CLAT and ALET, etc. And I still wasn't hooked instantly. I did a bit of research, And I came to know about the pattern change in the CLAT exam, and it was favorable for me because I do a lot of reading and I'm confident in at English. So I did a bit of research. December of 2020 was time for experimentation. I made a lot of calls to many tutorials, many of my peers, and I stumbled upon Career Launcher. And I joined finally in January 2021. It was the last minute power workshop kind of a batch, and from there I wish I could say the rest is history and everything was smooth sailing. But in even in 11th grade I had never learned to discipline myself and sit down and sit for hours at a time. So January, February, I had to spend that time learning how to dedicate hours to a certain subject, sit down and write 2 hours paper continuous. And yeah, put in a fair bit of hard work, but in the end it paid off, and I'm very happy about that.
That's something I think which every student should realize, because what you are talking about is basically one of the strategies about writing a test. Developing that habit is very, very important. So many people don't realize that. They believe ho jayega, matlab we can do it actually, test hi to hai, we can write it actually. But sitting for 2 hours and writing a test with your full concentration is really difficult. Thankfully, this was an offline test, and it becomes more difficult when it is the online platform actually. So similar to Gautam, your journey also started very late. We'll come back to that. So we'll now ask this very same question to Ashna. If you can share your journey, how is that this has been actually, so your prep journey for CLAT, INET?
Yes, sir. So when I chose humanities in 11th, I somewhere always had law in my mind. Like I used to find this interesting, but like at that time I didn't know a lot about it. I just saw it somewhere and I was like, okay, this looks interesting. But like after 11th, I researched and decided what I actually wanted to do, and that is when I started looking up like which coaching institute I could join, and that is when I found a career launcher. So I was enrolled in the 1 year online course of CL, and we used to have like 3 to 4 classes every week, and that was like a 2 hour class. So that is like what I did. So I joined this, and I used to regularly attend classes, and we used to have like one class sheet per class of different concepts, and I used to like solve that. So that is what I did.
Okay, so wonderful. Again, that gives us we are getting those specific inputs actually. So why classes are important actually. I believe if you attend classes on a regular basis, 70-80% of your job anyways is done. Malhar is traveling, but we are glad to have him here actually. So I think after the results, he is moving to some other place actually, might be on a trip. But yes, Malhar, we would like to know your journey, how it has been, when did you started your prep, how did you prep actually for the CLAT?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm going back to Pune. I came to Mumbai for IELT. Now that IELT is done, I'm going back home. Yeah. So now the thing was that since 7th, 8th grade, my dream has been to enroll into the Indian Foreign Services, and that still continues to be my dream. Actually, in 11th standard, I did a diploma course on geopolitics and international relations. So I'd been an avid reader on international relations, how countries interact with each other. I'm a prolific debater as well. I attend quite many conferences. So why I looked at law was because in UPSC you have to give an optional paper, and I'd heard from a lot of people that law is a very potent and a very scoring optional paper. And since I was interested in public policy, political science, so I said, well, why not? And I needed a good plan B as well, because as you know, the uncertainty of the UPSC exam, anything could happen, right? And a strong plan B and the optional paper, things fell into place. And I just enrolled for CL in June 2020. And, I learned so many new things every day. And that was the best part of my journey, that it was always exploring new frontiers, arenas, learning new things, connecting the dots, looking at a new perspective, a big picture. So yes, it has been a very interesting journey, and it might even turn into my plan A. Who knows? So yeah, I'm very optimistic about it. Looking forward to it, sir. Thank you.
Wonderful. So we have someone who actually has plan A and plan B, everything in place actually. So and clarity about what exactly he needed to do in future actually. So UPSC is definitely a dream you have, and I'm sure you will crack that exam while you will be in the law school final year itself. So that is what I would believe about you actually. Arunode, how has been your journey actually of your CLAT prep? You are from Patna, and I know there is a craze about law as well as government services out there actually. So, what's your plan and how your journey has been actually about your vision for law entrances?
When I was like in class 8, I never thought that what would I do. When I came in class 9th, all my friends they were enrolled in Fiji and Akash and all, and I was like, science is not my cup of tea, and I was one of those guys who feared math. So I was like, no, IIT and NEET is not the field for me, and I'm like already behind in my race. So I started searching for other career options for which I was good at. I had natural skills. So like you said, law has been a craze in Patna in recent years. We also had in topper in the previous year. So my parents and my friends suggested CLAT to me. So I went on to the CLAT portions, like what it had. So I've been giving Olympiads in class 5. So I saw that it tested logical reasoning and all, and I thought, yeah, that I'm good at it, and I am also good at lawyer skills like debating, arguing, and I was also an intensive reader. So I thought CLAT was a good field for me. So just when I finished 10th board, I started searching for all the coachings, and then is when I found CL, and I enrolled in as a 2-year classroom student, and that helped a lot.
Okay, wonderful. So Aparajita, last year the CLAT topper was also from the same center and 2 year student actually.
Yes.
Aditya, how has been your journey actually?
So initially till class 10th, I used to study in a boarding school, Mussoorie, Uttarakhand. And there I was into debating, parliamentary debates and all that stuff. And we had a career counseling session where we were given an aptitude test and nothing pointed that I should pursue engineering. So we got 1 hour phone call per week, and somehow I garnered that courage and informed my parents that I can't do engineering. It was a bit tough in the starting because in 1 hour you can't explain so many things to them, but eventually they supported me and I left boarding, came back to Patna and took the 2 year program in career launcher.
Oh, wonderful. So, was it that a little bit filmy story like Three Idiots? I believe you can relate to Farhan to some extent, where you had to convince your parents, your father.
Sir, but my parents supported me, like unlike him, so that was nice.
Parent support is very, very important, and I would shout out to all the parents actually. So it's very important that we believe in the dreams of our kids. Actually, it is very, very important. We should lend all our support. It's not just about financial. The more important is the emotional support which is required actually. And to all the parents, this has been my request, and through this session also, I would request all the parents. It's very important that you speak to your child and lend your support. That is very, very important. Actually, that's very, very important. A parent support is something which will do wonders in one's life. Actually. Okay, so one thing which is very common about each one of you is you come from diverse background, but you have I think one thing in common: you all are good in English, and you all are avid readers actually. But then my next question is: all of you joined this program, CR Nuggets by Siddharth sir, and it is generally believed that if you are good in English, you are definitely good in CR, critical reasoning, actually. So if that was the case, what made you join this program? What was so good about this program? But before that, I would like to know, why did you join this program and when did you join this program? So why and when is what I want to know actually about that. So we can start. Maybe Gautam, you can answer first.
Yeah, so like some people believe that English is necessary for critical reasoning. What I like to believe is that English helps in critical reasoning, but you don't have to be good at English, or very good at reading or speaking, or your vocab has to be very expansive. I mean, definitely I had a base to start with, but when I gave mocks, I used to look at my score, and it was average. I used to get 15 or 16 or 17. So that's an average score in critical, and anything above 20 is good. So I rarely used to cross 20 when I used to give mocks at first. So the thought came to my mind that I am good at English. So why am I not being able to score in this section? So that is why I practiced a lot of questions. So a few nuances I learned by myself. When I thought, no, I need some external help. So I joined this course in the month of, I think March, April, somewhere around that. I joined the course first. First, I looked at the recorded sessions, and I knew then that this will help me in getting a better score. And English helped definitely, but this was a score booster, because there are a lot of different techniques and things that you need to know in order to crack this section. There are a lot of ways to answer a question, and so that's why. And I learned all that from this.
Okay. So Arunodey, why did you join the CR Nuggets program?
So actually, when CLAT 2020 paper happened, I saw that critical reasoning was not only in the reasoning section, but all in the legal section as well, English section as well, and as well as logical reasoning. So when I searched for critical reasoning, it is a very generalized term, sir. But all the materials were scattered. Nobody explained the basics as comprehensively as I found in this course. So, sir, when Siddharth sir launched this course, I was like, yeah, I need to know the basics and all, because I was stuck in certain types of questions like inference based or in two options. So when I saw the introductory video of the CR Nuggets, which was the trap strategy, it influenced me to take that course, because I thought that would be really helpful, and it really helped, sir.
Okay. So obviously, we know Siddharth very well, actually. So he has been mentoring students, and for a long time, actually, I would say, and definitely one of the favorites of the students, actually. So this program was his idea, actually, and definitely it has helped a lot of students. So Malhar, what was your reason for joining CR Nuggets while doing the preparation, while you were already enrolled in a program which covered everything, actually? But was it that extra boost you were looking forward to, or you felt that this would definitely give me an edge actually over there?
Okay, sir. So it so happened that I remember giving mocks in the span of December, Jan, Feb. So those 3 months, I used to give a lot of mocks, and this used to be a consistent theme that after every mock, invariably when I was analyzing, and when the CR section came, I used to be like, "Oh my God, this section has so many mistakes, and I put so many efforts into it. So why aren't my efforts translating into marks? It should be proportional." Because I was, I thought a lot before answering each question, before answering an assumption question or an argument question. So I asked myself, okay, am I overthinking, or am I thinking in a different perspective? So, putting that, methodizing the entire theory and the entire section was a sine qua non to acing the mocks, because that was a laggard in my score that used to, keep me back. And that was a frustrating thing, actually. So it so happened that it was April of 2021, and I think mid-April I stumbled across CR Nuggets, and as Arunodey said, I watched the sample video, the trap strategy, and I liked it very much. And if anybody asks me today that what did you gain from CR Nuggets, I would just tell you that Siddharth sir helps you in methodizing the madness, because it's necessary to do so. Because CR, as you know, it's a very vague and a very ambiguous topic, that there can be multiple opinions. As there's a saying, 6 economists, 7 opinions. That way, each person has 2-3 different perspectives about each question. So I think what Siddharth sir's videos tell us is how to follow a methodized, strategy, and how to go step by step. Now, you may not apply everything that Siddharth sir tells you in every question, because it might not be feasible. But internally, at the back of your mind, you know that you have to negate this assumption, so that you come to the answer. So I think it boosts your self-confidence, and that pays bounteous dividends when you're giving a mock. So yes, it definitely helped.
Wonderful. So, Ashna, over to you actually. So, what has been your reason for picking up this program?
So for me, CR wasn't something that I was scoring low in, but I was a part of the 1 year online course. So we had one class with Siddharth sir, and I really and in that class sir told us about his program, and I really liked the way sir taught us. And after that, I read the description of the program, and I really liked the fact that there were like 35 videos, and also in every video, sir discussed past year questions from CLAT and ALET papers. And I think that was something that I really liked, and that attracted me towards this program, and decided to be a part of it.
Okay. Krishna Priya, we definitely know your reason for the joining the program, but I think people would definitely love to know about that. Internally, we know about that actually. So I think similar story you watched a session and actually. So if you can yourself tell about that story, actually what happened and what prompted you to take up this critical reasoning program, that would be really great actually.
I was definitely someone who thought that RC section and LR section are basically the same. You read the passage, you read the questions, and you answer them based on it. But when you attempt mocks, you realize that I understand option A, I understand option B, but then which is the right answer? All of them make perfect sense. Because to answer LR questions, you need to understand the logic behind it. I chanced upon CR Nuggets when I attended one of Siddharth sir's lives, and he introduced us to concepts which I'd never heard before, even in the classes that I'd enrolled. And suddenly, many questions made a lot of sense because you know the method which you need to use to approach a certain question, and you know how to eliminate options. You know how to choose between the two options that you inevitably get stuck between. And that helped me score a lot of points because it was my strongest section in the exam, so it paid off a lot. And he's certainly one of the most interactive mentors. You ask a question, he answers immediately, and then if you have a doubt about a certain concept, then he makes videos about it immediately. He posts questions on Telegram groups, so you feel like you're being listened to, and that's definitely comforting. So I'm very happy.
Okay, so I'll come to Astha now. Astha, how has been your experience with this CR Nuggets? What was the need for picking up this program? What exactly you gained from this program? So, and how does it help a student actually? So, if I talk about the program, the CR Nuggets, the Critical Reasoning Nuggets, what is your opinion? How does it help a student from an exam perspective? If you talk about CLAT, if you talk about IELTS in particular, actually.
Sir, I do agree that English and CR are same to a certain extent, but they diverge when you have the same passages, but they diverge in the type of questions. And just like Krishnapriya said, you end up getting stuck between two options, and both of them seem plausible. So I came across CR. Sir had never taken a live class for my batch. I came across the program when Shreya ma'am sent it in the group, actually, my Telegram group that I was a part of. And I had always been scoring the same 14, 15, 16 average scores. And my score in English also was not very great. It used to come like a very little above average. So I said, okay, I think I need to work on this. And then I saw the traps class, and then I said, okay, fine, this is something new, and I need this more than anything in any section. I need to improve my scores here because it is a scoring subject once you get the nuances, when you understand the elimination process or the strategies it gives you. And also, if you go to sir's the online class portal, when you even everything is so organized. Like even there are even sections for batch videos. He says you have skill building, you have advanced skill building, you have basic knowledge. So everything is actually served to you on a platter. So, and sir is also like, he used to keep he's very interactive. He, even before CLAT, he took a normal interaction session. He keeps motivating us. So I think it helps a lot, sir, to just not just to boost your confidence, your scores, but there apart from, because I think my peers or even my family, nobody else knows about CLAT or whatever you have to do. I'm not from a law background. So I think you also need someone from that background who's ready to, hold your hand and walk you through it. He's saying, okay, he's also ready to teach you and the motivation. So I think it plays a great deal.
Okay, so I'll come to a very important and unique point. Everybody is talking about that trap session, and good that we have Siddharth sir also in this session today. So we'll definitely ask a question to him actually. But before that, I would like Aditya to help us understand what has been his particular reason actually for picking up the CR Nuggets program.
Sir, so unlike many people, I used to score a good percentile in CR, but my English was a bit off in terms of the percentiles. And also the LSAT was approaching at that time. So I took his course, and his trial classes were so good that you didn't want to miss out. And I want to say this to everyone, although the name of the course is CR Nuggets, sir can teach you everything, including mathematics. He'll give you those tips. He can improve your strategies of attempting tests, and he'll analyze your mocks with you and tell you how to improve your scores. And basically over delivered more than he promised. He promised to improve our CR scores, but he helped us throughout. So that was the thing. And I'm thankful that I didn't miss out on this course.
Okay, so till all this time, Siddharth sir has been a silent spectator here actually. So I think Siddharth, that's a shout out for you. So not only it helped in the critical reasoning section, but other areas as well. And as mentor, we all know you actually. So you're really there for the students. Now this question comes to Siddharth sir actually. So he would not be expecting that I would be asking him this question, obviously. But everybody was talking about this session on traps. I think the mind traps kind of session which we are talking about. And no doubt, I have heard a lot about that actually. So I would like to know from your end a little bit about that session and why it is important actually, because everybody is talking about, all of these guys are talking about that. What is exactly that session all about quickly, and how does it help a student from a CLAT perspective?
See, Amitendra, when I launched this course, right, before that, I had this thing in mind that how an examiner sets the paper and what kind of traps the examiner sets in so that students who are not well prepared can fall into it. So I was just thinking that how to make a video around it. So I had few words in my mind. I then force-fitted those words across this traps acronym. I force-fitted it. I had the idea, but I force-fitted. Okay, R stands for rotten word. What will T stands for? T will stand for this. All right. So I framed that around, and I force-fitted that across the acronym, and I used to say traps to avoid the examiner's traps. So that was the whole idea. And see, any examiner will have those common traps in mind, that how to set apart good students from not so good students. So it all came down, all my experience, as a lot of them were saying, I give a method to all the things that I have. That's it. It was challenging in the beginning, but then it is really surprising to know that these kids loved that session the most. That was my, I think, initial second or third session.
So that method and that madness, actually, I would say, the two M's, I think that's very, very important. Okay, so now I'll leave it random to the group actually. So whenever you have a course actually in CLV, or we all talk about group actually. So you mentioned, some of you mentioned about that Telegram group and how it works, how supportive. So you all were part of that specific CR Nuggets Telegram group. So how did this help actually? So when we talk about that group, when how many of you were interacting closely and solving questions among yourselves? So does that group help you out there over, if you talk about your preparation strategy? So maybe you can start with Asta. Anybody who can do it?
Yes, definitely it helps, because I think sir used to post passages, not just from other sources. He also used to type down his own passages and create his own questions, and I think that takes a lot of time and dedication. So he used to post that, and messaging, I used to solve the questions, but interaction wise I was more on the spectator side. I was not very actively messaging on the group. But sir, it definitely helps. And after every passage, every answer session, question answer session, he used to post a video session of himself explaining that passage. So I think that takes a lot, because that passage is just 1 5-minute passage, but taking out time to explain the passage in its entirety with all the question, and not just most of us come down to two options and then we face the problem what to choose between A and C. But sir also explains why A, B, C, and D, like why each of the options are right or wrong. So it gives you an idea. Even while in further future questions, somewhere it stays in the back of your mind ki, okay, sir had solved like this is the same pattern, so okay, so I shouldn't choose this. So yes sir.
Okay. So anybody else would like to share that about that platform, any information, what you liked actually about that group in particular, your peers out there? So maybe any one of you can, maybe Malhar, Krishna, any one of you can do that.
Yes, yes. The most important thing about that group was that people used to post their, doubts there. So I thought that if someone else is having that doubt, maybe if I encounter a similar kind of question in the future, I could have the same doubt. So, people used to ask doubts, and other children in the group used to reply to them. Sometimes Siddharth sir himself used to reply to the doubts, and so all that was I used to look at the other person's perspective, how he is thinking. If someone is able to solve the doubt, then I used to analyze how was the thought process going in solving the question. And so that helps a lot, when you look at problems other people encounter, and you try to put yourself in the same situation. Like if I had the same problem, if I encountered the same question in the exam, then how will I go about solving it? So that was really helpful.
Okay, so I have another question actually. So you, as a part of the program, you also do take the topic tests and the sectional tests, which are specific to the program. So how in your opinion, how useful were those tests if you talk about the topic test and the sectional test? And what would you recommend to a student who will be writing a CLAT 2022 actually, or maybe another law entrances? Should they be taking up the topic test and sectional test, and why they are important? But beforehand, I would like to know that basically, if you talk about this topic and the sectional test, how it helped you in your preparation, actually, in your prep journey, actually. So maybe
Abhitendra, I will like to add something here. As a part of the program, initially I offered only 5 sectional tests for the critical reasoning. And then later on, I thought that I should give them the topic test also. But for the topic test, I had one championship, and I think Astha and Ashna both were among the winners, if I'm not wrong, if I remember it correctly. Anyone else I'm missing? So I created a 10-day championship of topic test, and one topic test, 10 questions, you have to answer it by 12 p.m. and then automatically our tech team will disable that. So I got a lot of support from tech team, because every day at sharp at 12 or 10, I don't remember the exact time, they used to disable the test for the students. So that came on later, but I will definitely like to know, personally, I would have asked this question, how useful those tests were.
So Arula, answer that.
Yes, sir. I think for all the students who are giving CLAT in 2022, they are a must give, because once you go through all the sir's videos, you need to give that test to see that if you have learned the concepts properly. And all that tests, they test you in the specific areas, and they test your basics, like if you know them or not. Because if you have a general idea about it, you will not be able to score well in that test. And also, if you give that test, sir used to had a analysis video about it. And the best thing about sir is like, option A is correct, okay, but why the other options are wrong? Students used to get very confused in that, like why my options are wrong. Sir used to clarify that, yeah, this is the reason why your options is wrong. And that was the best thing about sir. And the test really helped a lot, and helped me to understand the basics and practice my basics.
Okay. Malhar, how did that section and the topic test, that championship actually help you out, and why everybody should be taking that actually?
Okay, sir. So basically, while giving the championship and after I gave the test, so what I used to do, I used to go back to the theory of that very topic and used to revise the nuances of it. So what the championship enabled is to, refine what you already knew. So after the CR Nugget session, I used to revise all of that. And again, I used to practice my own questions in the CL ka booklet. So that is a very good ecosystem that is, so that's our institutionalized. And I think everybody should sincerely give those tests. And also one more thing that I'd like to add about the Telegram group of the CR Nuggets is that group is really useful when you're analyzing mocks, right? Because you have so many doubts while analyzing, and we have so little time to analyze because you possibly can't keep on analyzing for 4 and 5 hours. So you have to expedite the process. So you quickly send the doubt on the group, and since everybody's taken the mock on the portal, the students or Siddhartha replies very fast, and a doubt resolution process is very quick. So it helps you to put your preparation on a next level, and I think everybody should enroll and take the advantage what is being offered. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I think I'll move on to my next question, and so any one of you can pick that up and would talk about that actually. Now, definitely we understand that given the new format of the CLAT paper, and if you look at everything seems like more of a comprehension actually. So because you guys were an avid reader actually, so that also helped you out because speed is something which definitely matters now, and reading speed definitely works wonder in the new format of the paper. So what has been your strategy if you were to speak about that to the prospective CLAT aspirants, and what they should be doing? So if you're for example, if somebody is writing a paper next year and they would be definitely in class 12th right now, and it would definitely be a tricky situation preparing for an entrance examination along with the board's preparation actually. So, and this time they have made some changes in the overall structure of the board administration, basically. So, what would be your advice as somebody who has cracked this examination, somebody who has cracked this examination with a very good rank? What is that one point you would like to share? How they can work on their speed, and especially which helps them in these two sections actually. So, what did you do, and what your advice would be to the students out there? Maybe you can start with Ashna.
So what I did was like managing it along with boards. Like I mentioned, I was a part of the 1 year online course. So I used to make sure that I don't miss classes, because once you attend a class, you kind of, that concept is cleared and you don't have to revise it again and again. So I think that was something that I would really recommend, like just being consistent and just attending classes regularly. And apart from that, like along with boards, I think I used to initially try to manage at least one mock a week. So I think that really helps you over time. And I think as far as the speed is concerned, I think the more you practice, you will get better at it. Like if you give more sectional tests, more mock tests, you will slowly start getting better at it. So that is what I do.
Okay. What has been your strategy, Aditya, on that front? So how did you manage the speed aspect, and what would you recommend to other kids?
Sir, so like the test series program of career launch, as in the mocks calendar, is very well planned. As in the beginning of the preparation, which is around August, where the span test series started, we were given around one mock per week. So that way you can work on the things which you are lagging behind once you appear for a mock and analyze it. And later on, the schedule becomes tighter, as in sometimes there are 2 mocks in a week. So by the time you reach that stage, that is post January or post February, you have cleared all your conceptual doubts, and obviously some of them will remain till the end. But this mocks calendar helped me a lot. And like while you're giving mocks, you should remember not to be too conscious of the score. Obviously you should analyze it, but don't be depressed if you're scoring bad, because initially I was in the 70s, and after that your score will improve if you analyze and work on the concepts regularly.
Okay. In fact, many people ignore that aspect of percentile. So we give that percentile scores over there as well. And I think that is something which every student should look at. So what Aditya mentioned over here is that we should not be worried too much about the score. I think you should look at percentile. Many a times you won't realize because you are not looking at others' performance, others' papers as such individually. It may happen that his or her percentile might also have score might have also dropped down actually, but the percentile would have been good, just as in your case. So that reflects of the difficulty level of that section or that paper actually. So it may not be necessary that you will be scoring a similar one in every mock or in every actual paper, even actually if that's given to you. It depends on the difficulty level. I think that is something which we provide in our analysis module, the drill analysis. I think that is something which everybody should look at. Percentile is the most important aspect.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to add on, like the aspiration portal, especially the analysis section, is a very useful tool, but you should know how to use it, especially the QS analysis, where they tell you the accuracy percentage of every question, and the questions are categorized into easy, medium, and difficult. So do try to get the easy and the easy medium questions correct initially. That would help a lot.
Okay, so my question to, I would say, let me ask this question to Arunodaya. Arunodaya, Aditya mentioned that initially it's one mock per week, but as you move on to January, as you're getting closer to the exam, you get 2-3 mocks in a week. Actually, it becomes a very tight schedule. So what was your feeling when you were writing the mocks? Because you have been part of a longer duration actually for the 2-year program actually. So did you feel the same way that it becomes really tighter at the end of the program actually, and then how one should cope up with that actually?
So since I was enrolled in the 2-year span time, first year I had to manage it with the school. So it was a tight schedule for me. But since COVID lockdown came, all things went online. So I tried to give every mock in a week. And I increased the rate of mocks when the deadline of CLAT came. So, sir, I want to say that we should never fear mock. Like many of the mocks I gave without preparing. Like I wake up in the morning, I thought like, yeah, I should give mock at 12 or 2. I gave mock just not because I was not prepared for GK. Many of my friends are like, no, I have not done this month GK. This mock came in July. I have not done June mock, so I will not give the mock. But I said to them, I reiterated that GK doesn't matter. You have to see that mistakes are not, you are not doing the mistakes regularly. You are not making silly mistakes, and you should give mock because that tells you how your preparation is going and what are you doing in the actual paper. Because mock is a combination of all the 5 sections. Many of my friends used to give everyday sectional tests. But I said that you should also give mocks because they are a compilation and you have to manage it in 120 minutes. That's a good package and it will definitely prepare you for CLAT.
Okay, so that gives to an extent our answer actually, but I would like to add a point over here. See, you need to understand, as part of our test series module, we give 70 mocks across the different examination. And if you look at from that perspective, we do understand we have only 52 weeks in a year. So obviously at some point of time, it has to become tighter actually. The closer it is to the examination, because by the time you would have completed your content aspect, I won't say syllabus. Syllabus is not a right word for the exams because these are aptitude kind of exam. So the content, the fundamentals work you would have already done, and later it becomes more of a practice actually. So that's very important. But yes, we do understand through your feedback that mocks are a very important aspect, and every student who is appearing for the exam in the coming years, they should definitely take up the mocks with diligently actually, I would say. Okay, so coming back to Krishna Priya once again, if you talk about, let's say, one aspect about the program, which you really liked, and about this CR Nuggets program, which you really liked actually, and which definitely every student should be looking forward to. And definitely I would also want to know something which you recommend to us, to Siddharth sir, as something which can be changed about the program actually. So which you believe should also be done in that program.
I am simply a student, so I don't know how much I'll be able to tell him that will help him improve. But if someone is planning to enroll for CR Nuggets, and I believe they should, I think they'll really like the fact, and I've said this before, that he is so interactive. You'll never see a doubt go unanswered. And first, when you post a doubt on the Telegram group, your peers are ready to answer. And just even if they don't, there's definitely Siddharth sir who will address your doubts, tell you why you're wrong, how you're wrong. And the best part is, if he sees patterns in the doubts that are being asked, okay, there are many people who have doubts in this particular section, then he'll make a video about it. So there's no way that he'll let you be weak at a certain section. So I think they should be very happy about the level of interaction that they'll get. That you would not expect this, especially since you're enrolling in an online class, let's say, and the batch will be big, but you feel certainly feel close to them.
What about you, Gautam? What do you feel about the program?
So according to me, it has really been helpful to me, because when you read a passage, you don't have to read it, in a disinterested way. You have to get into the mindset of the examiner. You have to get into the mindset of the author who wrote the passage. And I think Siddharth sir and this course helped me understand, how to see a different perspective, how to approach the passage in a different way. My approach earlier was different, and after the course it was entirely different. And I think critical reasoning helps in all sections. It helps in legal, it helps in English, and it is interconnected. Most of the concepts are interconnected, so it boosts your score in mocks. Definitely it boosts your score a lot in all the sections, and it has been really helpful. And there are sessions on, I think, almost every type of question which was asked. There was even an extra mile section, which the concepts which have not been asked as frequently, even those were covered. And that covers every aspect of the critical reasoning section, because this section does not really have a set rule of guidelines on how to solve a question. It's more about your approach to the question, and that really helped a lot the course.
Wonderful. So, in fact, when we are talking about this course, I would like to now know exactly how much this program, this actually helped you actually improve upon your scores. Or what do you believe that to what extent, what percentage, maybe 100%, maybe 200%? So from which score to what score actually? Unfortunately, we don't have CLAT giving that section-wise score, but from your mocks actually. So from the at the fag end of when you were writing, when you were near to the exam, when you wrote the one of your last mocks, you take that score, and when you started at the very first place, how much change, how much effective it has been actually. So what is the change you saw? So from what score to what score you went to actually, if you talk about, especially from the CR section perspective, the reasoning section perspective. So Asta, what was the change as far as you are concerned?
So for me, CR Nuggets was a total game changer, because I retook the mocks, all the 30 mocks in the last this year. So whatever all the mocks that I had given, I got them reset, and I made it a point to note the previous section marks in the mocks that I had given when I was not enrolled in the program. And so that time I used to stagnate around 70, even though with analysis, with further practice, my score was stagnating. I wasn't improving. And after the program, not just my logical marks or not just my English marks, but everything altogether increased. So my marks saw a jump of around 10 to 15 marks altogether. Because sir, like as somebody pointed out, it wasn't just like a CR logical reasoning course. Sir took classes on math. He solved our doubts on legal, even though he said he tried his best to do everything for us. So I think, sir, total game changer.
Malhar, what has been your case actually? So from where to where this course went up?
Okay, so at the fag end of my preparation, as you mentioned, the mock scores are generally languishing in the early 20s. So Siddharth sir, I asked Siddharth sir about this, and he said if your combined score of English and CR goes above 40, then well, you're playing safe, but you still have to make efforts. So I made sure that my combined score of English and CR went above 40. But whenever my CR score went below 20, I made sure in the analysis, I used to reattempt all the wrong questions without looking at the answer. And I used to attempt all the questions that I didn't attempt in the mock. So these two things I made sure I did. And again, I used to really go back to the theory also, because I made a separate notebook. And whenever I used to look at the recorded sessions of Siddharth sir, I used to take my own notes. Right. So the notes were really helpful because they were a consolidation of everything Siddharth sir said. And, the tips were really helpful. And the theory part played a big role as well. And yes, in the actual CLAT paper, my logic score was, I think, 27.5 or something. So that was a really good score. And the rest questions I didn't attempt. The accuracy was really good. So I'm happy.
Okay, wonderful. So guys, it was good to hear from all of you actually. So in fact, I learned a lot from your journey, from your experiences actually, which I would be definitely able to share with my next year students. And in fact, what I will do is with the video, I will also share the link of the Telegram channel that will be given in the description so that others can also join and learn from that actually. Very active group, that is what we all know. So I would like and take this opportunity and thank you once again for joining this session while Malhar is traveling to another city. He's going back home actually because he was there in another city to write his examination yesterday. But yes, wonderful to have all of you here and Siddharth as well. So interacting with you has been a real learning experience. I'm sure the students who will be watching this video, they would definitely learn a lot and they would know what it takes to be there actually, because I'm interacting with students who all of you are in the top 100, within the top 100 ranks of CLAT 2021. And we know what kind of effort it takes to be there actually and how competitive this exam is. And every year, the number of people writing the examination is definitely increasing. This year, I expect somewhere around 60,000. So coming to that, bringing that rank is definitely something which is very, very difficult. But you guys have done it. You have achieved it. And I'm sure a lot more kids will definitely get motivated when they see you, when they watch you talk about your experiences. So I take this opportunity to thank you all for being here. And it's really been a wonderful experience. So thank you so much. And Siddharth, thank you so much to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we really, from the entire Career Launcher family, we wish you all the best for your future. And you all make impact in the society 5 years down the line, we believe, in whatever role you play. And Amitendra, I have got immense love and respect from these students, not only these 7 students, all 300 plus students who joined the program. And it has been a wonderful learning experience for me. So really thank you all of you for showing trust in the program. And I now know for sure, I will not say hope, I know for sure that this program has helped you. So thank you very much for that.